Hi, this is Kara, and this is DIY on the house. After we recently put out a video on how to make a rag rug, it was communicated to me that people would like to be able to make a smaller project, one for speed, one for a smaller gift. They want to be able to teach their children how to make the rug, but didn't want them to get discouraged on such a large project. And I selfishly wanted to have a project that I could do while we were traveling. So we are going to show you today how to weave hot pad holders. This is actually a two-part video. We've done it separately, but we're going to release them at the same time. One video is step-by-step on how to make the loom. The other video is step-by-step on how to make the hot pad holder. So we're going to get started. The first video here is how to make the loom, and Ross is still in bed, so I'm going to go get him up and he is going to show you step by step on how to make the loom to make a hot pad holder.
Hi, it's Saturday morning. Got my cup of coffee, unshaved. Kara got me up out of bed and said, I need another loom. That's great. No, these rugs that she makes are just awesome. So I guess I'm making a trivet loom this morning, so we'll go ahead and get at it. All right, so what we'll need for the project to make a trivet, and this will be roughly a 7.5, 8-inch trivet, that I got two 1x3 by 7.5 inches, two 9.25 by 1x3. Some drywall screws to attach all the corners together. We would use brackets on this, but everything's so tight that it couldn't get a screw gun in there. And then the other is, of course, the eyelet to keep the sides from warping in. And then the finish nails. And then our basic hand tools, drills, drill bit. And then also, forgot, that we're using shish kebab sticks for the sides. So when Kara's weaving these, the sides don't warp in, and these will actually hold that tight. So let's get started, and we'll go ahead and we have the longer ones because the 7.5 inch ones will actually fit inside to make that square. So it'll look something like this. And let's go ahead. And what we're going to do is I'm going to pre-drill 2 holes here on each corner to attach to drive the screws in. Otherwise, the wood will split. Not a very sharp bit. So we're going to line up these corners here. And I'm going to actually drive a screw in there, so because everything's so small it just keeps falling apart. Oh, that works better. Nice, something nice and stable. So I'm going to do this, make sure everything's square here. That's a tough bit there. Kind of feel the edges. Feel the edges. Oops. I don't want to start up too high and put a screw way up here, because when we're putting in the finish nails, so that the fabric can be attached to, it doesn't whack into a lot of the screws. It may have. Okay, so you can see this corner is a little bit off. When I'm pre-drilling, I'll just go ahead and pull it over, and it'll actually be fairly square. So we have the basically the box made, and it ends up being, of course, 7.5 inches by 7.5 inches. So it's time to put the nails, the nails in for the warping. I guess a question mark because I've never actually done a rug and I don't know all the terms. So we're going to put a nail every 1/2 inch, and since this is 7.5, we'll start right at the corner here. So I'm going to have a nail here. And then at the end. And then what I'll do is I will put the ruler and basically split the 1 in half. Do a line, and then on every tick mark I'm going to drill a hole. And that's so the when I pound the nails in, that it doesn't split the wood. So I've got a drill bit that's just slightly smaller than the nail, and you have to watch it if you are doing this. The smaller the drill bit, the larger the chance of breaking it. So what I'm going to do is, you can actually see the drill. The drill part of the shank. I'm just going to drill down to where to where it actually goes to solid shank, and that will be consistently the same every time. So I'm trying to keep pretty much straight up and down. So there we got the holes are drilled and ready to put in the nails. Now what I did, like I said again, I just drilled down to where the solid shank starts on the drill bit, so they're consistently pretty much the same depth. And what I'll do is I'll just tack in the nails, and when I start feeling a little resistance, I know I'm at the bottom of the hole. And they don't have to be the same height, just in the general area. And they may want to bend on you because the drill bit is so small that it just kind of followed the grain. And I'm just going to bend these nails into place to make sure everything's... So these are 1.5 inch brad nails. Nope, that's not. So we have one side done with all the nails. Like I said, they're not even, but the material is actually just, you're using the base of the nail down here, so it really doesn't matter. And it's also kind of hard with the drilling with that small bit and the wood grain. The bit's kind of wanting to follow the wood grain, so you just kind of got to deal with it. And once you get the nail in there, you just bend it, push it into where you want it. So if it's a little bit cockeyed, recockeyed it, uncockeyed it. Do something with it. So we're going to go like this, and upon suggestion of my wife, I must do the line first because that's how sewers do it. Sewers. Oh my gosh, it's so much easier. So as I was worried, this little bitty bit actually snapped in one of the holes. So I had to go to a little bit bigger bit, and is almost exactly the same size as the nail. So I just drove the nail down a little bit deeper on this side to try to get into some wood that I hadn't drilled. Okay, on the eyelets, we're going to put those in so that the shish kebab sticks can actually go through them. And that will support the sides of the trivet. And what Kara said that actually kind of need, because the shish kebab sticks are they warp a little bit. We're going to actually drag these in about 1.5 inches. Okay. Okay, on these, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bury these up towards the threads. I'm not going to go past that. Give it a little tap so it starts. Keep some pressure on it. Okay, and right there's the end of the thread. Okay, so that's where the sticks will go in. And I believe my job's done.
Okay, now that you have the loom, thank you, Ross, for making that for us and showing us how. Now that you have the loom, check out the next video on how to make the hot pad holder. But as always, thank you so much for joining DIY on the House. Give us a thumbs up and subscribe so you'll know when the next videos come out.